I'd like to welcome Director Cordray to the 27th hearing that he's had, and often my Republican colleagues continue to use the CFPB as a political issue, citing it as an example of unprecedented power with no oversight. And I believe this list of hearings, 27 of them, speaks to the oversight that they have gone through. In fact, you're here today on the semi-annual report requested and put in Dodd-Frank. It actually happened to have been my amendment. If I'd known there'd been so much oversight, I never would have required it. I thought we wouldn't be seeing much of you. But when you do come, we do hear what you're doing to help people. And I would say you have tremendous credibility, particularly with the college students that you're helping, the veterans, the seniors, know before you owe issues that help people understand their finances. But the CFPB is already, I would say, one of the most accountable federal agencies, and the numerous attempts to defang the CFPB with major pieces of legislation put forward by this committee are merely election year efforts by those who never wanted to create the agency in the first place. Those that put forward those amendments and bills didn't vote for the creation of the CFPB. And there were many of us who authored and worked on Dodd-Frank that thought the consumers needed to have an office that was on their side. Too often, consumers were not thought about. It was a secondary thought, a third thought, or even not thought about at all. And I think it's very appropriate to have an agency looking out for a proper balance for industry, for consumers, and for the overall economy. Some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle continue to say that there is not enough accountability, but I would say that the CFPB has extensive accountability, and these were standards that were put in place under the Wall Street Reform Bill, and they're absolutely unprecedented in our government. I would say there's more accountability and oversight of the CFPB than any of the federal regulators. And I'd like to place in the record this analysis of the accountability and mention my time is running out, but the President can remove the director for cause. The director must appear before Congress annually and report on their budget. The GAO is required to do an audit every year. It is the only banking regulator with a funding cap. They are capped in what they can spend. And the CFPB final rules are subject to judicial review. And it is also subject to the Regulatory Flexibility Act and the Congressional Review Act. The IG monitors the CFPB, and all of their rules can be overruled by the other regulators. So there is extensive oversight of this important agency, which in my opinion has tremendous credibility, particularly to the consumers and Americans and hardworking people that they are trying to help understand their finances, bring transparency into their contracts with credit cards and other financial institutions. And I believe it's good for industry, good for our overall economy, and good for our consumers. I look forward to your 27th report from the CFPB to this Congress. Thank you for your service, and I yield back. And I may